8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is Liam Hendricks, and you're watching Crosstown, Crosstalk on the Barroom Network.
Some may find the following disturbing. Discretion is advised.
Every summer in Chicago, the sunshine spotlights the city's spectacular skyline, its luxurious lakeshore, marvelous monuments, and the over 200 neighborhoods in the city. And it also brings to light two of the greatest sports franchises in the world. On the north side, it's the Cubs. On the south side, it's the White Sox. This is Crosstown Crosstalk.
Hello and welcome to another very exciting episode of Crosstown Crosstalk presented by the Barroom Network. My name is Vinnie Parisi, and I am in complete disarray from what we just witnessed in the 2023 Crosstown Classic between the Chicago White Sox and the Chicago Cubs. And I know we got Chicago Bears training camp going on right now, so I know things are a little bit crazy in the Chicago sports scene right now. Every team has sucked for the last 5 years. We're hoping that things start to turn around and get better, but there's nobody I'd rather have to kind of crosstalk multiple different sports. That's kind of the point of this show. I'm talking about somebody who is very close to me, somebody that I enjoy, someone I respect, someone I admire, and I'm talking about somebody that works for the Chicago Bears, the manager of talent and game presentation, Bobby Hack. Bobby, how we doing?
What's going on, Vin? Thanks for the intro. Way too much. Way to pump me up. Way too much. Not needed. Appreciate you having me on, buddy.
It is needed, dude. You're awesome. When I was first introduced to you, I was like, I like that guy.
Oh my god.
And
same to you.
Then I met your brother. And yeah. I really liked you more once I met him. No, I'm totally kidding. I love him too, even though he roots for the wrong team. We'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah.
So you were at the game between the White Sox and the Cubs on Wednesday night. That had to be unreal. Talk to me about the atmosphere.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Every year, my wife's actually I'm a big Cubs fan. That's why you see these two banners wherever up here, and she's a Sox fan. So we are a house divided, but every year we try to go to a Cubs Sox game. We usually switch off. So last year we went to Guaranteed Rate. This year we went to Wrigley. But yeah, the atmosphere always Crosstown Classics pretty electric. You gotta, I gotta keep my voice down a little bit because everyone's juiced up in there. But it's always a good time. But yeah, man, first 7 innings for me weren't the best, obviously. Oh, there's a jet. But yeah, once we got to the 8th inning, and I did actually turn my wife's name's Anna, so I turned to her once we got out of that bases loaded, nobody out jam. I said, we're going to win this game. And I said, I don't know how we're going to do it, but I said the Cubs are going to come back and win. She's like, no. And then, slowly but surely, home run by Nick Madrigal out of all people. And then, obviously the bottom of the ninth was just unbelievable. Best. I told her, I've been to 9 playoff games. I'm actually 0-9 in those I'm 0 for 9 in Cubs playoff games. I was at the Bartman game going back to 2003, but this was the best game I've witnessed as a fan. There you go. The best game I've witnessed as a fan. I was at the Aramis Ramirez walk-off home run against the Brewers in 2007. So sorry for that ramble, but yeah, dude, it was incredible.
No, dude, I like the detail and your feelings from the game. I know it was certainly looking like it was going to go in the White Sox favor, and they had the bases loaded, nobody out, right? And the first batter with the bases loaded is Luis Robert Jr., who's probably going to get some MVP consideration once the season is over. And then Fulmer just goes and rolls right through 3 of the players in the heart of the order, and then it's like Nick Madrigal hit a home run. Really? I was like, there's no way the Cubs don't win this game if Nick Madrigal's hitting home run. Dude's 26 years old and he hit his 4th career home run. Like, of course the Cubs are going to win. Yeah, I'm sure you were feeling the same exact way.
Yeah, I was, and I definitely. So funny when he hit that home run. I said, I turned to Anna. I was like, I was like, watch out. And then, like, obviously you got the clip up here. It's just absolutely electric. Like, walk-off bomb to win it. I mean, it's just unbelievable. So we get super competitive over this. I kid you not, Vin, the ball didn't even hit the bleachers. She's walking up the aisle. She's gone. She left me. She was walking up the aisle. She went to the bathroom. She was steaming. She was mad. She's probably going to get yelled at for this. But, yeah, she was so mad that obviously the White Sox lost and lost it the way they did. But, yeah, man, it was so funny. I had to catch her after the game. I was like, okay, so you just didn't let me celebrate singing. She can't stand Go Cubs Go. Obviously, I love it. So that was funny. Every year, one way or the other, right? Like, if the Sox win, I'm not happy. Obviously, Cubs win, she's not happy. So.
That's the way it should be. I put on Landslide by Fleetwood Mac on the TV, and I just sat there and drowned myself in my sorrows. And Katie takes a video of me and sends it to all my cousins who are, divided between Sox and Cubs fans. A couple of them sympathized with me. A couple of them were like, taking all in my misery. So that leads me to my next question. You said the second best game you ever were at were the Aramis Ramirez walk-off homer against the Brew Crew in 2007. Is that correct?
Yeah. Now it's the second best game. That was the best game. Yeah.
Does it mean more to you when it's against the White Sox? Like, is that?
Yeah.
Talk to me about beating the White Sox. It's got to be fun. Right?
Yeah, it's awesome. I've definitely been I've been to probably over 10 of these games just in my life. I mean, I don't know the exact record, probably around 500. It's always a battle. But it means a lot more, obviously, beating you guys. But then again, like, as I've gotten older, it used to mean like a lot more, like, chirping at everybody else in the stands. Obviously, as I've gotten older, it's kind of like, it's all Chicago. It's all the same, but I definitely I dislike the Cardinals more than I dislike the White Sox, but it's definitely nice beating, especially when the wife's a Sox fan. It's always nice to rub it in her face now for the next year, because we don't play you guys anymore. And we got the weird Crosstown Cup thing that used to be sponsored by BP or whatever. Now it's just regular, or Wintrust, who knows? But yeah.
Yeah, and now for the White Sox to get it back, they have to straight up win the series. They can't just tie anymore. Like, the tie will keep it for the Cubs until the White Sox straight up take it from them, which could be many years down the line. But, I mean, so it makes me laugh a little bit, though. You're 0-9 in Cubs playoff games. They played significantly more playoff games in our lifetimes. I'm 1-1. Are you a little mad that I have a playoff win in my vision?
We had the game, last year or 2 years ago?
2 years ago, yeah. So they're winning. It was, what's his name? Leury Garcia. It's a go-ahead home run, and the White Sox take the lead over the Astros. Me and my brother, very stupidly, during that inning, drop $1,000 on between the both of us for Game 4 the following day, and then that game got rained out. They ended up losing the series. It was like, okay, that was kind of dumb, but it was memories for sure. But 1-1 in playoff games, not 0-9.
Yeah, we go to the home opener every year, so I've always gone to like big games, but for some reason playoffs, like, I just can't figure it out. I mean, we're going back when I was like 10 years old at the Bartman game. Like, I was there. I mean, that was correct. That was my first one. And then in 2007, we went against whatever it was, the Dodgers. I think it was the Diamondbacks. And then 2008 against the Dodgers, when Manny Ramirez like golfed one into the left field. It was just horrible. And then against the Rockies for the 1-game wild card, when they did that a few years back. And so it's just, I can never get it right. But so I'm just staying at home now. If we get into this year, I'm not going. I can't go 0-10. I feel like that's the jinx.
See, I think you're like 0-9. What's the difference between 0-9 and 0-12? Like, you got to just keep bumping them out until you get one. And then once you get one, you never have to talk about it ever again. Like,
exactly.
You're not going to be like, oh, I'm 1-8 or 1-10 at playoff games. Like, no, you're going to say, I've seen a playoff win.
Yeah, the last game I went to, we won.
Yeah, exactly. And it was a sick game. If I was a Cubs fan, I certainly would consider that an all-time game. Now, I took a moment to make fun of you. Do you care to take a moment to make fun of me, Vinnie Parisi, as a White Sox fan?
I don't want to make fun of you. I just more so feel bad for you guys. I mean, the expectations. I mean, I don't know. That might be worse. The expectations that you guys had and deserved going into the last year than this year. And I don't know, man, with you guys' injuries, no one can seem to stay healthy. And I don't know. I mean, I do enjoy, like, because we actually went on the 4th of July. Like, again, I don't like the White Sox, but I'll go. I like the park and everything, the ambiance. Like, you can tailgate. The food is always good, right? But, like, Yeah, man. It's besides Louis Bob, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what you guys are gonna do. Obviously, rebuild again. I feel bad.
Yeah, I feel bad for myself. I mean, the Cubs, they go out and spend north of $200 million on Bellinger and Swanson combined. You see the results of what something like that can do for you. Like, money gets you nice things in life, let alone sports. And, the White Sox aren't going to do that. So they're stuck in this hell forever. So yes, feel bad for me, make fun of me, make fun. Give your wife a hug every night though.
I
Be like,
will.
"Hey."
I do.
Yeah.
Every night.
I know what it's like to be in a house divided too. So,
Oh yeah, I know.
Katie's a big
Katie's,
Cub fan, and I'm over here dealing with the White Sox having 75 losses by the end of the freaking August. Bobby, who's your all-time favorite Cub, and who's your current favorite Cub?
all time's Ron Santo. I never got to see him play, but growing up listening to him on the radio really got me interested in just like his background. I used to love. He was amazing. So I number 10 in like softball jerseys and all that stuff. So wish I got to see him play. It's a shame that they put him in the Hall of Fame after he passed. But I just really came to love him because of the radio broadcast with Pat Hughes. And so from there, I like just kind of as a young kid, growing up, you dive into like different books that I read, memoirs, all this autobiographies of him and his life and his battle with diabetes and, just loving to play for the Cubs. I know he had that one year at the White Sox at the end, but we don't talk about that. And then current, it's probably just Kyle Hendricks. Since we traded for him, I think was the Dempster deal that we got him.
Yep,
Yeah.
with the Texas Rangers.
Yeah, with the Texas Rangers. So I always like the minute we got him, my friends would call me crazy. I was like, oh, that's like the baby Greg Maddux. Yeah, just in his style of like pitching, right? Not a hard thrower, very accurate, has nice change up and speeds. I always just kind of appreciate that because now baseball is like all about the flamethrowers and everything. So you don't really see his style of pitching anymore. He's been my favorite. I know he's like the last guy on the team from 2016, but I've liked him since we traded for him. So yeah.
I always love how Kyle Hendricks kind of like balanced out the Cubs rotation because you would go Lester, who was kind of like a mix of both. He would have days where he like threw really hard. He could throw really hard, but he did like to kind of be that like Greg Maddux type of player for the most part. And then, you throw out Arrieta, who threw nothing short of a flamethrower every single time. Yeah. And then you go right back to Hendricks in the following game. And it's like, if you're playing a team in a playoff series, you literally can't just get a consistent type of pitcher. And I think that's what made the Cubs so successful. So I actually really like the Kyle Hendricks answer. He's having a good year too.
Yeah, he is. He's obviously getting a little older. And I think back when you're talking about that whole rotation, he was a nice, just like from a personality standpoint, just like very like, even keel versus he had like Lester, John Lackey, Arrieta, a little bit more outspoken guys and a little bit more like passion on the mound. Not saying that, I call him Sile Hendricks because I wanted him to win the Cy Young that year. But, I feel like that was really good for the rotation then.
Was it the crazy year that Lester, Hendricks were both nominated for the Cy Young, but they ended up giving it to who'd they give? I don't remember. Was it Verlander
in 2016 or Verlander? Yeah, because Arrieta won it in 15 for that stretch of pitching.
Yeah, Verlander was never in the National League until this year. It definitely might have been Scherzer, actually.
I think you're right.
So for sure, yeah, you get a lot of Kyle Hendricks love in the chat from all the Cubs fans.
Love it.
So I think I know the answer to this, but coming into this year, the Cubs were kind of seen as that team like, okay, they signed Swanson, they signed Bellinger. We don't know what we're going to get out of Hosmer, Mancini. Those guys are already gone. But have the Cubs failed, met, or exceeded your expectations so far this year? I guess you could probably get rid of failed. They certainly haven't failed any expectations.
Probably met. They haven't exceeded. We got off to a slow start. They're probably exceeding now, trending that way.
Sure.
With the moves, we need more pitching, but everyone can always say that. So I'd say met expectations. I mean, I always thought like if we can get in the playoffs, that would exceed the expectations. I knew we were going to be better than a 500 ball club just based off the end of last year and kind of a rocky start this year. But since the All-Star break, I mean, we've been like the hottest team in baseball. So
yeah,
which kind of was the same thing last year.
Yeah, for sure. Except this year, I think there's actual like, I don't want to say talent to back it up because there was talent on the team last year, but there are playoff battle-tested, regular season battle-tested guys in the lineup. Like Bellinger's won a World Series. He's been to another. Other multiple deep playoff runs. Swanson's been to the World Series and won it.
Yeah.
And both of those guys were like heroes in their World Series. So I do think the Cubs are going to get in. Do you think you could say the same? Do you think they're going to make the playoffs? I know you look at
for sure. Come on. Who we got it? The Brewers, please.
Yeah, well, not
Don't
even if the Brewers somehow miraculously hold on to the NL Central, like you got the Reds and I think it's the Marlins for the wild card spot. It's like I don't really know if the Cubs can say they're worse than those teams.
No, I think starting pitching is going to be the tell-all. I mean, with Stroman hurt now, we got a good bullpen. I really like what Alzolay is doing. Adbert Morales is I see on Twitter. But yeah, I just think it's we get it. Hopefully, the starting pitching holds up. That's what it's going to come down to.
Absolutely. Now, let's say the Cubs get in, and okay, everybody's pretty happy. You're going to celebrate either a wild card berth or a division title at Wrigley Field later in the fall. Like, obviously, that would be something that is good. And then let's say they run into the buzzsaw known as the Atlanta Braves in the first round, and they lose, right? But they put up a competitive series, but they go out in the first round. You're like, okay, we have this core kind of in place, and most of them are locked in. We need to figure out what Bellinger wants. He's got the worst agent in all of sports with what's his name? So Scott Boras. Yeah, Scott Boras. So it's like he's going to be difficult to get re-signed. Boras is tough, but the Cubs have had a good relationship with Boras throughout history. But what are your needs for 2024 if they're going to come into next year thinking like, okay, we got in the playoffs this year. What do we need to do to, maybe make a deep run this year?
They got to re-sign. I looked at our lineup even like last night. I'm like, God, if some of these guys could just step up, like we got to re-sign Belly. I think so. I mean, with the year that he's having, I hope that he doesn't go back down. I know it's a contract year, so then you got to start there. I think you look around and I'm like, oh my God, like if Seiya can step up, Hap's been playing all right. You got Belly, you got Dansby's obviously going to be okay. We need a third baseman. Because that's for sure. What is it? I can't think of the guy's name.
Talkman.
Well, no, we can get into that. That's my guy. That's my guy. Bradley University, shout out.
We'll get into Bradley too. Yeah. I can't wait to talk about them.
No, I need a third base. Olson, Matt Olson.
Oh, Matt Olson probably.
I think
I don't know if he is. It's not the greatest free agent class.
Exactly.
Year. But the Cubs, they've proven they could make trades and stuff and fill in holes.
Plus, you got PCA coming up. My Pete Crow Armstrong coming up. He's in AAA now, so he'll probably get called up here in like 10 days. So yeah, we'll see. Definitely third baseman, maybe a corner infielder, and another starting pitcher. Because I don't know. Again, what we're gonna do with Stroman. I think he's got another year, but we'll see.
Stroman could pick up his option if he chooses to.
Yeah, that's what
I think he will now. Earlier in the summer, I didn't think he would because he was playing so well. He probably thought he could go get the bag somewhere else. But now it's like he hasn't pitched that well in the second half since the All-Star break when he was an All-Star. And so maybe he does pick up his team option and play with the Cubs next year. And with, the way Talion's pitched so far and you have, some other good starters, I do think going out there and getting a third baseman is something that should be necessary. But I didn't even write this down. Palatine's own, Bradley's own, Mike Talkman. Talk to me about him.
Yeah. I was at Bradley he was a junior and I was a freshman when I was at Bradley. The guy was awesome. Not a lot of people went to the baseball games down. Missouri Valley baseball. We're kind of from a basketball school, but I went to a couple, obviously, freshman kind of figuring out what to do. And that guy, I think he was like some Rawlings, like All-American. That guy just kept winning awards. We always heard his name around campus. So, super nice guy. Bradley's finest. Got to support the Bradley Braves. But yeah, he killed it down in Peoria. You can probably look up his stat line. I don't know off the top of my head, but that guy was like an all-conference player. Like I said, Rawlings All-American, whatever the Gold Glove is for college and all that stuff. Like he's got a pretty cool stat line for being in Missouri Valley. And then when he got drafted, that was pretty cool too. Obviously played for the Yankees a little bit, and now he's over here.
Yeah, that's really cool to see a local guy come and play for a local team and be that impressive so far. And I'm not sure if he's going to be in their future plans or anything like that, but hey, he's definitely my second favorite Bradley University graduate of all time. The first being, no, I'm kidding. Shohei Ohtani is going to be a free agent though. Obviously, the absolute unicorn that he is, probably a top 5 pitcher and a top 2 hitter in all of baseball, top 3 hitter in all of baseball. He might even be number 1. So, like,
oh my God, he's obviously if you could get him, duh. But I also don't want to, sell the farm, pay all, like break the bank. Like you see what the Angels are doing, like, Like, okay, I mean, the guy's a once in a generation type talent, but like, do you push all your chips in for him, and do you end up like the Angels? I don't know. Like,
So my theory on it for all these years, and I'd love to hear your perspective on it. If you were to go out and tell me that the Cubs were going to sign, let's say Garrett Cole was available. He's not, but let's say he was, and you gave him $250 million. That's probably about what he'd get on the open market right now. He got 300 a couple years ago. And then let's say Manny Machado is a free agent again. He probably gets 250 mil, 350 mil, depending on, the market and whatnot. If you get Ohtani for 500 mil and he's your ace and number 3 hitter that hits 50 bombs, isn't that technically
it's like
underpaid? Isn't it like underpaid technically?
You would think. Yeah.
And they don't have to trade for him. He's a free agent. They wouldn't have to give up anything other than money. And like Tom Ricketts, he talks about how rich he is all the time.
Yeah. I know. I mean, listen, I'm not going to complain. It's not, at the end of the day, it's not my money. So obviously sign him. But yeah, I kind of agree. You could kind of like 500 mil, and then you get a number 3 hitter and a starter every 5 days, split it in half, 250. He's almost, he is like 2 players. But then again, the past has shown us that we're not going to pay him and then pay somebody else to add to that. So, I mean, who knows? I mean, free agency, yeah, great. We have some great prospects. I mean, he'd be a dream. Like, I'm not going to say no. I just wonder how it would work out and wonder how the team would be around him. Like, if you just added him to this current team, absolutely. But I don't know if that can happen because obviously you got to re-sign some people.
Yeah, for sure. That makes total sense. I'm almost like, I'm so excited for free agency just because of Ohtani, even though the class isn't very strong. Because like here at the Barroom Network, I know we're just going to go live the second he signs with a new team because it's going to change the landscape of the entire league. So it's going to be a great time. So I want to pivot a little bit.
Let's do it.
You are a very fine talent evaluator and production manager for the Chicago Bears. Did I say that right?
Talent game presentation.
Presentation. What did I say? I'm dumb. Idiot.
Well, production. Kind of, yeah.
Similar. Describe your role and your job. Like, what do you do for the Bears?
Yeah, for sure. So manager of talent game presentation. So the talent, I guess, being all of our, so we have the Monster Squad, Staley, and the Drumline. I manage all of them in their programs, outreach. So whenever you see them out in the community, I, manage their schedule, manage the roster, uniform ordering. If we have any weird skits that we'll do at events or game days for them, schedule all them out, run their shows. And on top of that, so then game presentation, we like to say we try to provide the best fan experience possible in regards to from entertainment and game presentation when you come to a Bears game or event. So what that is, national anthems, halftimes, flyovers, in-game features when you see like goofy games on the video boards, any hype videos, music that we play for a certain time. We run all of that. So it's a fun job. Right now we're in the thick of it. Took a day off today because obviously I luckily don't have to travel with the team. So we just focus on home games and Bears events, and obviously we got a preseason game next week, so we'll be ramping up for that. And then obviously the big one against Green Bay for the home opener.
Absolutely. So, that sounds so fun and sounds like such a cool job. Do you ever get to meet somebody where you're like, wow, that was really cool that I got to meet this person? Has that ever come along for you in this job?
Yeah. I mean, there's just like a couple of, obviously walking around the building, we meet people all the time. It is the culture is family. So it's like, it's very cool. Like I don't take it for granted is what I'm trying to say. Like you walk around, you see these guys, like I born and raised in Des Moines. So I've always been a Bears fan my whole life. So it's really cool. And besides that, you meet really cool people. I mean, obviously famous Bears alumni and, but the cool thing for me is like anything that we bring in. So like the pilots that we'll bring in for flyovers, I get to talk with them on the daily. Like I just got a call from the Navy last week. Like those are the types of people that really that is really what excites me. And when they fly over, they land and then they come to the stadium, I'm like, wow, I just met the pilot that just flew over this. Or if we have any, special like halftime acts, like obviously met Lupe Fiasco last year. So that's just some cool stuff like that. Obviously keeping it. Oh yeah. I love that. Keeping it professional always, but yeah, it's definitely a fun job. Definitely meet some cool people. Definitely get to, definitely have a great time.
Absolutely. So if you got to describe what would be your favorite part of the job, I'm sure there are a couple things that'll come to mind when I ask you this question, but what's a favorite part or two about your job?
Oh, I love it all. But I guess the most favorite thing is game day for sure. The show that we put on for game day is, to me, it's I'm glad I get to talk about this a little bit because not a lot of fans know all that goes into it. So when I say show, it really is a show from when gates open to the end of the game. We're trying to deliver the best videos, best fan experience possible. So when I mean pregame show, from 11:40 a.m. when player warm-ups end till kick, that's our big show, 22 minutes of showtime. That's when we run our hype videos. We get our players ready in the tunnel. We'll go lights out for them, play some music for them in the tunnel. And then for the fans, when you come to a Bears game, you see player introductions. We got fireworks shooting off the roof. We'll have guys running out of the tunnel with the smoke, music's playing. We got the Bear Down flag, American flag on field for the anthem. And then the culmination, my most favorite part is after the team runs out successfully on time, you see everyone's pumped up. We have a great national anthem. And then at the crescendo of the national anthem, at the end, flyover right there, fireworks pop off, everyone's pumped up, ready to roll. And then we just roll right into game day. And then obviously within the game, we got some music prompts, hype, third down hype videos for the defense and our fans to stand up and get loud. So it's been fun. That's the best part for me, that national anthem moment. It's all right, we're rolling. Let's go win a football game.
Does it pump blood through your veins and give you bumps? Like when something you came up with has 50,000 people just going absolutely freaking bananas.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously it's not just me, it's a team effort on our end. We got to, it's actually probably only 2 to 3 of us, my boss, and then another person, manager of motion graphics that kind of brings all that stuff to life. There's so much goes into it. I mean, we'll focus on these hype videos. It's did this graphic move correctly? We'll watch them in the control room. Will this do the job to get our fans pumped up? So it's a lot that goes into it. But it's definitely worth it. And I think we do some really cool stuff.
Oh yeah, that's really cool. What's the best idea you've ever had when you were planning something and you were like, this idea is sick. I'm Bobby Hack. I'm awesome. This is great.
No, it's never just me. We'll meet all the time. There could be ideas as small as the in-game features. This year, I know we showed it at the first preseason game. We had the guys come in May and play tic-tac-toe just to kind of break up the monotony of different stuff on the video board. So there's little stuff like that. But I guess the team efforts always for ideas are I guess the Lupe Fiasco show last year wasn't just me, but brought him in for our Inspire Change game. We had a group out there of a place that we helped out on the west side of Chicago. We actually he was in Adam Alonzo was the Inspire Change Maker Award. We came in and honored his group, and then we had Lupe come out, and then we had what you'll see this year at Soldier Field too is a brand new, I guess, selfie cam where you can scan your QR code and actually go on the video board from your phone. So instead of us having cameras, trying to find fans, you could just all do it right here. Right. So with that concert, having fans with their phones, that was a really cool culmination of idea. It was also -20, wish it was a little bit warmer out, but that stuff. And we always get some fun things. We're going to have some fun stuff coming up for the home opener that if you're going to the game that you'll see. And then, obviously, trying to just innovate slowly. With player introductions, we had some lights in the tunnels for the guys to get them more pumped up before the game. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's all about the team and trying to, get them pumped up to go win a football game, right? Because that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think you guys are very important in terms of helping the Chicago Bears in terms of football preparation, because those guys, if they're feeling good about themselves and they're hyped up, there's no way you don't just naturally perform better. I would just imagine if it were me out there playing quarterback or safety or whatever position it was, I would be like, holy crap, though, that video board's awesome. Do you guys ever, as a team, get a little more amped up as creators when you have certain people coming into town? So holy crap, guys, it's Packer week. We better put on a freaking show this week. Or
yeah,
we got New England coming in. Here comes Tom Brady. Let's put on a show.
Yeah, I mean, I think that naturally comes into play, Vin, because what we try to do, and now obviously with the ever-changing in-game entertainment experience is always just going to rise every year. It seems like that's we get the NFL does voice of the fan scores and everything like that. We do surveying and try to figure out what fans like, and it's always food and beverage and game entertainment or 1-2 punch. take the football performance out of it, right? Like obviously that's the number one, but take that out, and those are the next two things. So those are what's most important to our fans. So we try to really focus. But that being said, like, yeah, home opener, duh, we're throwing everything at the wall, see what sticks. We have to beat our rival. It's going to be incredible. I know that we got some fun stuff planned, like I said. But yeah, moving throughout the year, the NFL and we have themes. So the opening game is a home opener across leagues, but welcome back to football. Essentially, NFL kickoff is the theme. So we'll be having our alumni homecoming for halftime that game, especially it's nice against our rival. Welcome all back Bears greats, just to kind of get the fans pumped up at halftime. And then, that's we're going to have a flyover. We're going to have some other stuff going on. But then as we move into October, we have our Latino Heritage game. We have plans for that. October 15th is our Crucial Catch breast cancer awareness game. So we'll try to plan out halftimes and themes that kind of correlate with that and try to, talk about the club's missions or what we're doing as a club for those causes. So we try to really highlight those kind of activations or causes as we move throughout the year. Obviously, November is always Salute to Service around Veterans Day, right? So that game's November 9th. As we move into December, we have an open theme, but we always honor our IHSA state champions. So we bring in all the state champs from Illinois, and football is a nice way to honor them. And then what do we got? Well, we got My Cause, My Cleats. We got Inspire Change, and then Fan Appreciation at the end of the year. So we kind of use that as our baseline to plan out entertainment and halftimes and all the stuff that you guys will see on the video board as we move through the year. That's kind of our benchmark. And obviously we got some internal causes that we always like to promote and show off.
That's outstanding. Now, I understand you recently got married.
I did.
I was there.
Yes.
Your marching band, the Chicago Bears marching band, was
drumline. Yeah,
introduced people in the drumline. They were putting on a show too. They were getting into it ahead of your wedding. You guys were out taking pictures. Other people were in front, like jamming out to the drumline there. Talk about how cool that was to have them at your wedding.
Yeah, that was great.
Just sweet.
Yeah, just a little touch of Bears. I had to convince the wife to have that because we live Bears every day. That's all I do is wear Bears clothes and Bears even in like January, February, March. That's all I do. It's my life. So I love it. So when it comes to the wedding, I try to, sneak in blue and orange for colors, right? Or even some Cubs stuff. But she's like, no. I was like, well, what about the drum line as people walk in? Like, they don't have to be in the wedding, but as people show up for cocktail hour, like, let's have them out there and perform. And I got that one through, and that passed. And actually, they were fantastic. And that's just kind of the stuff we do. They'll go to weddings, they go out in the community all the time. So if anyone's ever looking to book them, feel free to reach out to me. That's what we do. So, but yeah, they're fantastic.
You want to see us sing?
That's great. I got a couple videos. I haven't seen that one yet, but yeah,
I took that one.
Nice.
I was like, I got to get that in there.
You see how they kind of have their little synchronized. We throw that in there. Obviously, they make it more fun and not just standing there playing like robots. They get into it, obviously. So we got some routines like that. So that's good.
I love that, and I love how they were all dressed for a wedding too.
I know. I told them, I said, you guys don't have to dress up, and then they're like, no, we're gonna dress up.
That's hilarious. They're wearing like nice dresses and nice suits, but they're playing the shit.
Yeah, and I exactly. I was like, you guys have uniforms, like you can wear that. They're comfy. Or just wear Bears clothes. Like this is an official, like whatever. But yeah.
That's funny. I kind of want to have something like that. That just is such a good idea. We'll see. So we'll pivot away from the Bears just a little bit. Hopefully that everything goes smoothly for you this season as they, embark on another campaign. Hoping to see some good shows. I know there will be with you at the helm. What other sports do you like, though? I know you like baseball. I know you're super into football, as I could tell. Like, even if it's like watching other NFL games, I know you're super into Bradley baseball. Your Twitter, I think next year during March Madness, I'm setting Bobby Hack Twitter notifications so that they could just all pop up on my phone so I could get super into it. I was hardcore rooting for you guys because
Oh my
I
god.
don't have a dog in the fight. So I'm like, who will provide me the most entertainment? You marching the court and going crazy is
Yeah.
like amongst the top of my list. So
Oh
talk
man.
about it.
Yeah, I love obviously Bulls, Blackhawks too. Like, we'll go to games throughout the winter and all of that. But I love me some Bradley basketball. It's a weird thing. Obviously, I went there. I don't think it's that weird, but mid-major basketball. I'm a season ticket holder down there, so I go to a couple games a year. But yeah, man, I love me some Bradley Braves basketball. When I was there, we were not good. And then the minute I graduated in 2015, Brian Wardle came in, and guy was awesome. I mean, he totally changed the program. And obviously last year was the coolest thing ever, like sold out Carver Arena, 10,500 fans. And just friggin' 30 years old. And I stormed the court with my brother, with all the students, just because how excited I was over it. But yeah, man, a little bit of passion. I was a mascot at Bradley. I was Kaboom, the mascot. Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, that's kind of how that passion really started. We used to go to all the basketball games. I saw when I was there, number 3, Michigan came to town. They came to Bradley, Peoria, and it was like Tim Hardaway Jr. and Nick Stauskas were on that team. Bradley put up a fight but lost. But yeah, I've seen some just really good basketball down there, and even now still. And it's just, I love me. And now that every game's televised through ESPN Plus, or love it. Who found this video? I absolutely love it. Oh my God, incredible! Yeah, that's Kaboom. I was him when he first got introduced. But yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, they bring him out on a motorcycle every game to introduce the team, as you see there. It's kind of like I just sent them, like, I'm so obsessed that and obviously what I do for the Bears, I just sent them a song to try to play for a hype video this year, because I still try to get into it. But yeah, love Bradley. I go to Arch Madness every year down in the Missouri Valley Conference tournament. Obviously we won the regular season this year. I saw them win in 2019 and 2020, right before COVID happened. So I saw them win a couple of conference championships, tournament games to get into the tournament, which was awesome. And then obviously COVID shut down the tournament for that year. But I'm excited. Yeah, we got a good team this year. We'll be rolling. I'll be watching. I'll go to the game when they come to UIC. I'll go to Valparaiso when we come here. A couple games down in Peoria. So yeah, I got my tight knit friends.
That's exciting. I love it, dude. I don't think it's even a little bit weird. I've had season tickets to NIU football.
Love it.
Since I want to say it was like 2013 that it was my first year having season tickets. I wasn't even graduated from my local community college yet, but it was through a friend, and my whole life, I didn't even go to NIU. I've just been a huge Huskies fan my whole life. And it's like, okay, this lower end D1 program that, dominated MAC for however many years they dominated. Now they suck. We're going through a little bit of a transition here, but I mean, we've gone up to Michigan to watch the MAC title game when they played in the Orange Bowl and got their asses kicked by Florida State. We had a huge party at one of my buddy's house. Like, I'm all in on enjoying some smaller college athletics. I think it's great. And I think people like you, if I were Bradley, I'd throw you a check to come help promote me. Like, you do a great job of making people who don't care at all root hard. I was like, I want Bradley to win. I want to see what Pop's next adventure is. It was almost like watching a docu-series on Netflix. Like, what's going to go on next? If this team wins a title, this guy's going to like jump off a building. It's going to be hilarious.
My God, dude. I mean, it's the only time I really tweet is during Bradley basketball season.
And when the White Sox get destroyed by a
that game was a different story. But yeah, definitely love me some Bradley basketball. Thanks for giving me the platform to shout them out, man. I love it.
Dude, maybe in the middle of the March Madness thing, we'll have you on again, and we'll just dive solely into.
If you want to talk Valley hoops, if you guys ever, I mean, there's four Missouri. Wow, 3 now because Loyola left, right?
Yeah, I think
Illinois State, Southern, us. Oh, and UIC 4, back to 4.
Oh yeah.
So we got some Illinois representation in there. If we ever want to talk, need some content in March, let's talk some Valley hoops and talk overall March Madness, because I get really into it too. So,
dude, we've had conversations throughout the different shows I do on the network. I've had a half-hour conversation debating like soda flavors, so we can like have a nice little Missouri Valley basketball analysis throughout the year.
Love
I
it.
think that's great. I love it.
Brilliant.
Last thing before we get on out of here. You touched on the Blackhawks. Connor Bedard is coming to town. I pumped this guy's tires. I'm not a Blackhawks fan, so when it comes from me, it's like an unbiased, like actual. Yeah, I've had a 25-minute conversation about different flavors of jam too. I went to Door County and jalapeno jam and
Oh,
strawberry
see you
jam.
later.
And,
Cherry jam, I'm
cherry
sure.
jam, of course,
Yeah.
from Door County. Yeah. But yeah, we talk about it all here. I think Connor Bedard is better than Taves and Kane combined already, and he will be the best player in the history of the team.
I mean, that is a huge statement right there. But
I mean it.
I mean, yeah, I know we all know of him. So, I mean, it's just like, let's get this kid in the ice, see what we can see. He's young. So I want to temper expectations for that a little bit, but yeah, I mean, it's awesome. I mean, it's the way that the Blackhawks got that lottery pick, almost it was the same feeling as like, remember when the Bulls got Derrick Rose, that number one pick. I was like, okay, like, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I'm very excited. It'll be nice to get back to United Center, watch a Blackhawks game. We did go to a couple games last year, but it's just the buzz is back with them, baby.
Yeah. Night one, $5 million in season tickets sold. Night one since winning the lottery, and since then they're like well over 10,000. I'm pretty sure. But I mean, he's like in line with McDavid and Crosby, who came in, after Gretzky and Lemieux. So like, I legitimately think that highly of him, and I can't wait for people to take in a little bit more hockey. I'm obviously the hockey guy here at the network first and foremost. And,
the Devils, I know.
Yeah, go Devils. Yeah, you watched the Devils win a game with me.
I did.
At that party.
Did.
Yeah, that was great. But yeah, Bobby, before we let you go, is there anything else you want to promote or talk about before we kind of wrap things up here?
I mean, not really. I kind of went into it a little bit, but just if you're coming to a Bears game this year, hopefully it's kind of opens your guys' eyes to kind of like what we do. Instead of you just kind of going there and not knowing. I mean, home opener will be fun, and then we're ready. We'll be ready. We'll be ready to rock. Try to get fans out their seats and be loud and proud on 3rd and 4th down, and even 2nd down too. Let's get after it. So I'm ready. I'm so pumped for we talk in the building every year. What is it now at the end of game? 20-0. 20-0 gets you a Super Bowl, right? So there it is.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm just kind of looking through the chat to see if there's any questions that don't have anything to do with certain things in terms of Bears. I don't want to.
Oh, we'll be 2020. What is this? 2023 MVP Justin Fields.
Yeah,
of course. Well, yeah. I mean, for personal opinion, yeah, absolutely. Kid's awesome, man. I mean, he's a great dude. Again, all personal thoughts. I mean, how could you not be excited? I'm very excited for him, and everything that we brought in. It's a fun time to work at the Bears right now, and it always has been. But yeah, it's definitely super exciting. The building's juiced up. So
absolutely. And Mr. Shorty in the chat wants to know, how much of the actual game do you get to really watch?
It's a good question. I would actually watch and digest. Probably, I watch the whole game, but like I'm watching for things of like, all right, second, like, our team is watching like, okay, say Green Bay has got a long 2nd down coming up here. Say it's like 2nd and 13. If they get 5 yards, and now what is it? What's that math? 3rd and 8. Like, all right, boom, we're hitting whatever music, getting loud, having the PA announcer like bear down, it's 3rd down. Like, that's the kind of stuff I'm thinking of. I'm not really like digesting. Like, now when we're away, I get to watch as a fan. So that's what I like digest of, like, all that stuff. But like, that's the type of stuff I'm looking at. So like, our job is to watch the game, but it's also to like watch the game and digest it in a different way to basically get everybody pumped up and deliver the best fan experience. So I wear a headset. We're talking like, okay, what break are we going to here? What video are we going to run? What music we're playing? And on top of that, I'm in charge of all of through the movements throughout the stadium for our talent team. So Staley could be doing some weird skit on the sideline. I love it. The drum line could be playing in the colonnades. I got to know what's going on with them. The Monster Squad, we could be getting ready for a t-shirt toss. They run the flag runners. They run our flags. So I got to be ready to cue them at any moment's notice. Right. So that's the kind of stuff that we watch and we prep for. And yes, I do get to watch most of the game. It's the best, obviously game day. Like I said already, is the best part of the job, but kind of watch it in a different lens, if that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, if you guys want to know how much Bobby loves his job, we were at a wedding that wasn't his back in November, and it was obviously a Saturday night. The Bears had a home game the next day. This brother had to wake up at 6 a.m. for his next job,
Oh,
and he
yeah.
was having so much fun at the wedding. He stayed late, but he still was just completely cool with having to wake up at 6 o'clock and being like, "Oh, it's game day tomorrow." If I want
Oh,
to play,
yeah, it's game day.
I'm not missing that. Like that,
Yeah.
and I admire that so much. It's really, really cool, and we can't thank you enough for coming on.
Yeah,
It
man.
has
Yeah.
been an incredible time.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thanks for having me. This has been great. If anyone's got any other questions or about what we do or wants, just feel free. We'd love to talk about this stuff even more. So
Absolutely, we will have you on later on in the season, maybe, or after the season, and we'll kind of recap what went well for you this season, what didn't.
Yeah.
Maybe do some Bradley basketball. So, Bobby, we can't thank you enough for coming on. Make sure you tune in next week to Crosstown Crosstalk, where we will kind of break down what's going on in Major League Baseball just a little bit more. Obviously, the dog days of the season are kind of still settling in, but the playoff races are really going to start heating up probably by our next show, because there's some great things going on. Their MVP race is heating up. Certain, division race, every division race except for one is within a couple games. So 5 out of 6 divisions being that close. You need to be here with Crosstown Crosstalk. Monday night, we'll be doing South Burbs Hitman, recapping the Chicago White Sox specifically. That's not going to be fun. So we're going to try and figure out a way to actually make talking about the White Sox fun. And then next Wednesday, I'll be back on Bar Down talking hockey. Training camp is just a couple weeks away, so we are so very much looking forward to it. A bunch of other great shows here at the Barroom Network as well, so make sure you click the little notification symbol and be here with us for no matter what topic we're talking. I can't thank you, Bobby, enough for coming on, and everybody in the chat. As always, thank you for listening.
bear down.
Another happy landing.